Well, after being backed into a corner for almost a fortnight over the Craig Thomson affair, today the Prime Minister came out swinging. She's accusing the opposition of respecting legal process when it comes to one of its own, but putting political pressure on police to investigate Mr Thomson. All this as unions warned of increasing job losses and urge radical solutions to stem the flow. Political correspondent Tom Iggulden has more from Canberra.
For day after day after day, he's been sitting stony-faced during attack after attack. The Prime Minister's been defending him until today she turned to an attack of her own on two fronts.
Come in, spinner. Come in, spinner. Come in, spinner.
Point one of the opposition's own members has been charged by police, while Mr Thomson hasn't.
And they pursue their hypocrisy and self-interest day after day. It is truly disgusting.
Point two, what the Prime Minister calls an attempt to politically influence police over the Thomson matter.
Senator Brandis ringing up his Liberal mate to ring up a police commissioner. Why would that be happening?
That mate was New South Wales Police Minister Mike Gallagher, who then rang the Police Commissioner Andrew Scipione.
During the course of that conversation, I indicated as a courtesy that Senator George Brandis was going to write to him regarding the Thomson matter. The Commissioner indicated that if he did receive any correspondence, it would be treated like any other referral.
Police are still considering Mr Brandis's letter and whether to proceed with an official investigation, but the government's already heard enough.
We know they're not above putting pressure on police officers because it's happened before, and now Senator Brandis has got some explaining to do.
The Prime Minister's ferocious performance.
But as the Liberal Party sinks in its stinking hole of mud and hypocrisy,
appeared to catch the opposition off guard.
Just answer one question.
Trying to marry the two together is really the sign of a very desperate government that's trying to create a smokescreen.
But next week it'll likely be the opposition having to do the explaining when Liberal Senator Mary Jo Fisher's slated to face court on theft and assault charges.
At least Senator Fisher is actually standing up and facing the music in that respect.
As the point scoring continues over whose backbencher has the bigger legal issues, both sides at least agree on one thing: this is all a huge distraction from the bigger issues in a week when 1,300 steel workers lost their jobs. Unions say more will follow and are urging the government and the Reserve Bank to step in.
Unless we have interest rates come down and the pressure on the dollar ease, we are going to continue to see announcements like we saw on Monday, day after day, week after week.
But economists say the Reserve Bank's focused on the bigger economic picture.
And they don't need threats from the likes of him in order to make the best judgments from the point of view of the broadest well-being of the Australian people.
But Mr Howes wasn't done there. He wants the rules changed to force mining companies to use more Australian steel to build the $430 billion worth of projects approved for development.
All Australians deserve to benefit from the resources boom. It shouldn't just be the miners in the northwest. It should be the steel mills in the Illawarra. It should be the steel fabrication plants in Perth.
And the union says local steelmakers have been shut out against even tendering against cheap Chinese imports to build some projects.
The difficulty is demonstrating that these events have actually occurred, and we are looking for people to come to us with specific evidence and to ensure that we can investigate those claims.
Spoken almost like a police commissioner. Tom Iggulden, Lateline.